positive even when it feels difficult. This is something that I've been struggling with lately a little bit in terms of kind of being around other people's energy. And, if I'm kind of around somebody and the energy doesn't feel right, I'm very much an empath, and I feel like a lot of people say that they are. And in that case, just feeling the energy of others and kind of taking it in like it's yours, even though it's not. I've been really struggling with that lately, and I've been really making that like my main practice is when I'm in those moments where I feel that somebody else's energy is off and it's not what I want to be feeling, trying to practice like taking a deep breath and letting myself put space in between that energy so that I know that it's not mine to carry. And just because somebody else is having like a bad day doesn't mean that I have to have a bad day. And that might sound like so silly. I feel like even saying it out loud, I'm like, how do you like, you know what I mean? Like, why do you take on somebody else's energy like that? It's not yours. Like, why would that affect you at all? And I just think when you just, it's just hard sometimes because energy can be so loud and so strong. And I've just been practicing kind of like putting a border around yourself and giving space in between those things. And I think like it comes down to kind of focusing on the positive of things, and that's something too I've really been practicing and I've been feeling. And there is such a difference between believing something and feeling that like belief. And I don't know if that even makes sense, but it's like when you feel something, I'm like, wow, I feel so much better, because I know sometimes with so many things in the back of my mind, I'm like, I know that I believe that, but why on the inside do I still have these doubts? On the inside, I still have these limiting beliefs. And lately, those limiting beliefs have just been lifted more and more, and it just feels so good because I'm like finally just focusing on what I know is right for me and focusing on what I know I believe in so strongly. And part of that is the basic law of attraction, and I have been practicing this for years, but I haven't been feeling it. And lately I've been feeling something that I've never felt before, and it's just like when you focus on the good and you focus on the positive, that is what you attract. That is what is going to bounce right back to you. And it's just crazy because I know that's such a basic thing and everybody learns that, but feeling it is so different. And I have been in places in my life where I was just focusing on the negative all of the time. Unless I was doing exactly what I wanted to be doing, I was unhappy. And I think that kind of like when I think about that, and it helps me have grace for people who like who are in that space of their life, and and just giving them gratitude and saying like I hope that they heal, because I do. Like at the end of the day, if there's somebody struggling or somebody who's just constantly looking at the negative, it's just I hope that you heal, and I hope you find love and light in your life. And I had 333 as I said that, and I hope that you just, you know what I mean? Like I hope you find something that you can wake up to every day and feel the littlest of gratitude for, because waking up every day, and it's like I wake up and I'm like, I may be tired and whatever, but I wake up and I'm like so thankful and so grateful that I get to come out here and I get to do my morning practice. I get to meditate and I get to journal and I get to feel all of these emotions. Like it is just part of experiencing being a human, and I think that's so special. And when I give out that positive energy and just like that loving energy, even if I don't always feel it on the inside, I know that that's what I'm getting in return, and having so much gratitude for that and holding space in my heart for that. And also it's just kind of like shown me and taught me how to hold space for that person that I used to be, who wasn't where I am now. She was in a place where everything was horrible and negative, unless I was, I went through a phase where I smoked a lot of weed, and I still smoke, but it's very intentional, very if I need it. And I like either way, whether you do or don't smoke, but I know at one point in my life that was all my brain ever focused on. So I would be at work and I would be so angry. I remember just being so in a bad mood and carrying this negativity around with me everywhere that I went until I got home and I could smoke. And just showing grace for that girl who was struggling in that time, and showing her love and letting her know like that, I love her. I loved her then, and I love her now, and I will love her forever. And like just focusing on that, and now being where I'm at in my life now, and showing grace for who I am now, and waking up every day with that gratitude. And I think it's so important, even when you don't feel like you want to be positive, and even when you don't feel like giving out anything good, and that's okay. Like, give yourself space. If you need to just have a day in bed, then have a day in bed. But if you're able to hold that space for a little bit of light and kindness inside of you, and you radiate that outward, that's what you're going to attract inward. And what you choose to focus on, like if I have like a negative thought, the more you give into that negative thought, the stronger that it gets, right? And the stronger that maybe like your anger is getting, your irritation, or whatever it is that you're feeling, the stronger that emotion gets with the more that you focus on those negative thoughts in your brain. And you can feel it. Like, if you just sit there and you let yourself feel it, you will notice that difference. Like, wow, the more that I put focus on this thought, the more I'm feeling it. And I don't want to feel that. And I think that is so strong, and it takes so much like grace and just power and strength to be able to sit with those negative thoughts and say, like, I don't want to feel this way anymore, and I don't want to think like this anymore. And I think that kind of just like correlates, even just, kind of makes all make sense. I'm kind of just going down a random road here, and whatever kind of feels good and comes up for me. But then I think about that in like when I'm around somebody who's kind of has that bad energy around them, I remember that there used to be a time where I felt this way. So instead of getting angry at them, or getting angry that you're feeling their energy, show grace for them, show kindness to them, even if they don't show it back, because that's who you are in the inside. That's who I am on the inside, and I can feel it. And even just being able to come home and sit down and sit with my emotions, even when they're hard, it takes so much strength to be able to do that, to sit down with the hard things and allow your body to move that energy and flow that energy and let it come out. And you choose to attract what you want to attract. So if you want things to get better, you have to be better. And you can be, and it's so possible, and it can be one step at a time every single day. Just doing one thing that makes you feel good every day could be such a big step in the right direction. And I think a huge important part of that is showing yourself grace to that as well. Like, if you're having a hard day, you don't want to beat yourself up because you're having a hard day. Just accept that that's what it is, so you can move forward, and you don't have to be so hard on yourself. Like, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but when I get angry, for so long I've felt ugly. So I'll feel angry, and it's not like necessarily ugly on the outside, but I'll feel ugly on the inside. Like, I for so long have correlated anger with just like being a negative emotion, and it making me feel like a bad person, and just feeling ugly on the inside, and just, and I have been having to work so hard on, when I feel angry, giving myself space to just feel it through. Because it's important too, when you feel these like, emotions that maybe you don't want to be feeling, giving yourself space in between the emotion and you. And like, I'll kind of imagine like this being the emotion and this being me, and I am just experiencing that emotion, but it doesn't define who I am at all. That I am not the anger that I am feeling. I am just experiencing this feeling, and I'm allowing it to move through my body, and I am letting it go. And then, you know, getting up and just doing something that makes you feel good, like cook a nourishing meal for yourself, or go grab something that will make you feel good, or whatever it is that you want to do. Go on a walk, dance, journal, paint, like whatever it is, doing something to kind of channel that energy and let it flow out of you. That has helped me so much, and I know that there's so many other people where little things like that have helped them too. And remembering too that like anger like isn't a negative it's not like a negative emotion. It just is something that you're experiencing, you know what I mean? Like every single day when you feel things, see things, do things, like all of it is just part of the experience, and it's how we take it on and it's how we perceive it. Everything's about perspective. And so again, like just going back to when I'm kind of in a space where the energy isn't so good coming off of people, remembering to show grace and show kindness. And I think that's so important, because it also keeps you calm and it keeps you centered. And at least like that's how what I've experienced, because it is so hard sometimes, like especially just being somebody who feels other people's energy and other people's emotions so strongly, having to remember that those emotions are not you, you know, and they have nothing to do with you. And so let them go, because they, you know, you don't want to carry what other people are carrying, but you want to show them kindness and grace and love and light and all of the good things. And so I know this was just like super random, but I feel like I just have all of these thoughts all the time, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I wonder, you know, like just talking through them. I'm also somebody who talks through all of my thoughts. Like I will be here cleaning, doing something all by myself, and I will talk out loud what I'm thinking about, because it just helps me process things. So I feel like other people are like that too. But yeah, so just remembering to show grace and love to everybody, and showing grace and love to yourself, and not taking on these hard emotions as if, you know, they're your own, or as if, you know, they are you, because they aren't. So give yourself that space in between the emotion and between you, and that'll kind of, you know, lead you right out of that kind of negative maybe thought pattern, or, you know, just energy that you may be carrying. I know that it can be hard, but with practice, you know, it does get a little bit easier. And that's something that, you know, I practice today. I practice every single day, because, you know, even just going anywhere, like the energy can sometimes be a little bit iffy, and making sure to just not take that on for myself. I think that's really important. So